Okay. So when we talk about solving equations, what that means is that we want to find the value for the variable that makes the equation true. Yesterday we talked about solutions. Yesterday you guys were given equations, or you found equations, and you guys looked to see if a value was a solution. Now what we're going to be doing is we're going to be working on finding the value. Alright, now the ones that I'm going to be giving you, some of them you probably could look at and know the answer to it. So what I want you to understand that I'm doing with you, I'm teaching you guys the process of solving. And I'm teaching you them, everyone's eyes up here, I'm teaching you them on easier problems. So when you're done, you know you got the right answer, because you can be like, oh yeah, that's totally -2. I knew that. So I'm not worried about whether you get the right answer. I want you to understand the process in getting the right answer. Do you guys understand? All right, so I want you focusing on the process, not the answer. Okay? All right. Our goal of solving equations, all right, it's to get the variable alone. That is our goal. Get the variable alone. All right, I'm going to go through an example right now with you. I'm going to do the example to the left and some steps to the right, so you guys have the steps involved. All right, so here's my example. If you're someone that likes colors in your homework or in your notes, you're more than welcome to do colors to kind of show steps always. All right, so my example is x plus 6 is equal to 4. And over here, I'm going to show my steps. Some of these steps, depending on the problem, you may not need, but I want you thinking about them. So the first step, I always want you guys doing this. Always change subtraction to addition by adding the opposite. Does anyone not know what I mean when I say by adding the opposite? Okay, you guys are all cool and understand what that idea is. And that skill, change the subtraction to addition, the number after to its opposite. All right, is that something I need to apply here? Evan? No. So I don't need to apply that here because this is already an addition. So step 1, we don't need to worry about for this problem. All right, step 2. All right, what I want you guys to look at, what is happening to my x? What does this say? This is not a trick question. What does this say? Annika? It's being added to 6. So here I have a positive 6 being added to x. That's your observation. Okay? You have a positive 6 being added to my x. So what I want to do, undo that addition. And this is going to be my second step. This is what I always want you saying to yourself. Because everything is going to be in addition. You've done adding the opposite. This is all addition, no subtraction. What you're going to say to yourself is in step 2, what can I add to positive 6 to make it 0? That's always what you want to be adding, because remember, I want to get that x alone. I want whatever's happening to that x to go away. Well, what can I add to a positive 6 to make it 0? Jacob? A negative 6. I can add a negative 6. So you're going to add negative 6 to both sides. Remember, whatever you do to one side, you have to do to the other to keep it equal. So I'm going to rewrite my given here. X plus 6 equals 4. And I'm going to add a negative 6 to my 6 and a negative 6 to my 4. So there is that step. Now let's go ahead and add. So I always want to look to see, is 6 plus negative 6 0? It is. The mistake that I see is somebody's going to say, oh, I need to add a negative 4 to both sides. If I was to add a negative 4 to both sides by mistake, is 6 plus negative 4 0? No, I need this to be x plus 0 equals. That's what I need. So that's kind of the double check that you're going to go through to be like, did I add the right thing? Okay, so when I do this, I get x plus, well, 6 plus negative 6 is 0, so I know I did that right, equals. I want to see that, x plus 0 equals. What is 4 plus a negative 6? Jacob? Negative 2. So x equals negative 2. Questions on this process? Okay, I'm going to give you another skills one, and then we're going to do a story problem. All right? Okay, so I want you guys to solve c plus a negative 4 equals a negative 5. All right, what can I add? This is c plus a negative 4. What can I add to a negative 4 to make it a 0? Remember, I'm looking at what's happening to my c. What can I add to a negative 4? Francesca? A positive 4. So I'm just going to add 4 to both sides. All right, my negative 4 and my positive 4 cancel each other out. So I have c plus 0 equals. What is a negative 5 plus a positive 4? Francesca? Negative 1. So c equals a negative 1. You guys cool? Okay. Story problems. These are always the ones that you're like, oh God, I hate story problems. So I want you guys to be more comfortable. Jagger? Are you okay? I'm adding, what do I have to add to my negative 4 to make it 0? Okay, so I added a positive 4 to this side, to my negative 4 to make it 0, right? But whatever I do to one side, I have to do the same thing to the other to keep it balanced, don't I? All right, so I have to add a positive 4 to this too, don't I? That's why I have two adding 4s to it. I'm adding 4 to my negative 5, and I'm adding 4 to my negative 4. Doing it once on each side of the equal sign. Okay. All right, so here's my story problem. This is example 2 from page 87, if you ever like to go back to that. All right, your target heart rate is 130 beats per minute. Your target heart rate, you're going to need yourself room. If you're at the very bottom of the page, I highly recommend you flip, because this is going to take some space. Your target heart rate is 130 beats per minute. This is 58 beats per minute more than your resting rate. Find your resting rate. All right, so before you do anything, I need us to make sense of this. Remember, you have to do parts equal to your whole, always. Now, the problem here is it's kind of hard to figure out what our whole is. How many of you guys can kind of see that here? There's no combined amount. There's no total amount. However, what I do have is this math sentence right here. And I'll tell you why it's a math sentence. It has an is. What does is mean in math? What does is mean in math, Francesca? Equals. What does more than mean in math? If something is more than something else, what does that mean, Alex? Addition. So, 58 beats more than means I have something plus 58 beats per minute. So I'm kind of taking apart this sentence. Now, what does this refer to? It says your target heart rate is whatever. This is 150 beats per minute more than your resting rate. What does that pronoun this refer to here? Your target heart rate is this amount. This is 150 beats per minute more than your resting rate. What information does the this refer to? Evan? Say that again. What information does this refer to? That word. Is it your target heart rate? Is it your resting heart rate? What does this refer to? My target heart rate. Because that's what we were talking about in the previous sentence. Okay. So, my target heart rate, that is my whole. Because it's all by itself on that one side. Alright, so I'm going to say target heart rate equals. What am I adding that 58 beats per minute to? What information am I adding this? It says 58 beats per minute more than your resting rate. What am I adding this to? Read this sentence. Come on, you guys. This is, target heart rate is 158 beats per minute more than my resting rate. My target heart rate is my whole. What am I adding these extra beats per minute to? Lawrence? Excellent. So my parts are my resting rate plus, I'm going to say the beats more per minute. There's my game plan. This sentence did the entire game plan. These are hard. I want you trying them. Do your best. They're going to get easier. I don't know my resting rate. There's my x. So somebody write my equation for me now. Now that I have my game plan, put in the numbers I know, the variable for what I don't. Evan? Tell me my equation. X plus 58. Excellent. There's my equation. Now, what do I do to solve that? So I have x plus 58 equals 130. So what can I add, because I have addition here, what can I add to 58 to make it 0? Come on, what can I add to 58 to make it 0? Jacob Kassab? Negative 58. And I'm going to do that to both sides. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. That's a 2, that's a 7. X plus 0 equals 72. So x is equal to 72 beats per minute. All right, we are running out of time, so you need a sentence that goes with that. Don't forget to write your sentence. I don't have time to write it. Resting heart rate is 72 beats per minute, something like that. You guys cool? All right, you guys can go. Don't forget to do those test corrections for extra credit by Monday, please.